Hi, I'm Grand Poobah Virgil the Doubtful, and this is the book of Isaiah, as reported to you through the book of 2nd Nephi. And I'm done with it. I'm tired. We're moving on. The 21st chapter of 2nd Nephi through, who knows? I don't care about Isaiah because I'm not reading the Old Testament. I'm reading the Book of Mormon, and none of this has anything to do with Mormon. So we're moving ahead. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. Okay, so this is a very famous messianic prophecy. It's been applied to Jesus. It's been applied to a lot of people. It just says that some great-grandchild of Jesse will be a great something. And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, and the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. Boom. And shall make him quick of understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity the meek of all the earth. And he shall smite the earth with a rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, the young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Seems unlikely. And the suckling child shall play in the hole of an asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand in a cockatrice's den. Cockatrice is a mythical creature. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Just want to point out that if that is a prophecy of a Messiah, all of that other stuff has to happen first, and in that day will be a root of Jesse. That the root of Jesse will bring about that day. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy of Ephraim also shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind he shall shake his hand over the river, and shall smite in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. And that is the end of the 21st chapter of 2nd Nephi. We're going to continue on. And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust, I not be afraid. For the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song. He also has become my salvation. Therefore with joy shall ye draw water out of the wells of salvation. And in that day shall ye say, Praise the Lord, call upon his name, declare his doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted. Sing unto the Lord, for he hath done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. And that's it. That's all of 2nd Nephi 22. Let's see what 2nd Nephi 23 brings us. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones, for mine anger is not upon them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise in the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Yea, the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be amazed, one at another, their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. The moon doesn't have any light. And I will punish the world for evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay down the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. No idea what that means. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and we will all die, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as the sheep that no man taketh up, and they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is proud shall be thrust through, yea, and every one that is joined to the wicked shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Lovely. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver and gold, nor shall they delight in it. Their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity in the fruit of the womb. Oof, their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. This is just horrible. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. When is this going to happen? But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Also a mythical creature. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. Man, it's full of weird mythical beasts. And her time is near to come, and her day shall not be prolonged, for I will destroy her speedily. Yea, for I will be merciful unto my people, but the wicked shall perish. And that is the end of the 23rd chapter of 2 Nephi. So I think the 24th is something I can fit in, and it is more of Isaiah. So we're going to rush through. Sorry. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and he will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. For the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, yea, from far unto the ends of the earth. And they shall return to their lands of promise. And the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord shall be for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives unto whom they were captives, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Yeah, that's great, but he's already tortured everybody. And it shall come to pass in that day that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, the scepters of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath and with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth in singing. Yea, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and also the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. And they that shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. The noise of thy viols is not heard. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Lovely. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Quick note. Lucifer, son of the morning, in this context, is referring to the king of Babylon, I believe, or Assyria. It's not referring to Lucifer, the devil. Art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, I will ascend above the heights of the cloud, I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and shall consider thee, and say, Is this that man, note man, not demon, that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, and made the world a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, and opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, yea, all of them lie in glory, every one of them is in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, and slain thy people. The seeds of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers. Not a fan of that concept. That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So they're going to kill all of his kids, so that they will not become king. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off Babylon, the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord. All right. I will also make a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, saying, Surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass, and as I have purposed, so it shall stand, that I will bring the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all nations. The Lord of hosts has purposed, and who shall disannul? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? In the year that King Ahaz died was this burden. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery serpent. More cockatrices. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. Howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou, whole Palestina, art dissolved. For there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times. What shall then answer the messenger of the nations, that the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it? And that is the end of that. The end of, I believe, this massive, endless Isaiah plagiarism. It appears that in the next chapter, we will finally get back to things happening that are not coming out of Isaiah and just direct quotes. So I hope you managed to get through all this. Hopefully things will get back to the craziness. We'll find out what happened to the Nephites and the Lamanites, and this won't be quite so tedious. I, as always, am your guide, Virgil. See you next time.